Forward, march.
Let's go get them Reds!
1, 2, 1.
My dearest Andy, Jeremy has coming with a terrible mistake. The captain makes us hydrate until we're sick. The other men make fun of my soft, womanly hands. War is hell. Love, Conan.
Company halt. Shoulder, arm. Forward, march. Company halt, halt. Fire, fire! Let's go! What the hell are you doing? I don't know. I thought you guys would go with me. What are you putting your freaking hand cream on? You sons of bitches! Pour it in them, boys! Pour it in them! Don't worry, Captain. I got this. Run! Run, you sons of bitches!
That's a beautiful clip. If you had a time machine and you could travel back, how many automatic weapons would you give the South? Like all of them, as many as you could carry.
Just
give them
literally
like,
whatever. Just like it, if I had rocket launchers, just
can you just open like a portal? Do I have to
It just drive shit through.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. I might
they'd probably kill themselves with it, but at first,
stay in your booth
because they'd
a few
try to
years
figure it
earlier,
out.
You gotta give some instructions. It's one of those things you can't just go back in time and be like, yeah, here's an Apache helicopter and a drone. Like they would all be dead and be like, well, I backfired. Are we gonna do over on that one?
This is all you have to do.
So I was,
just
yes.
Yeah, tell Lee he's got to be as ruthless as Sherman. And then we wouldn't have this problem we have today.
I don't think Lee had that in him though. I think
Lee was generally a good guy.
No,
I think he was actually a good person, whereas Sherman was a complete, miserable piece of shit human being. Speaking of miserable piece of shit human beings, I was perusing the internets for some good content for today, and came across this little. I didn't actually open it up and look at it, but it's LGBTQ plus stars who were told to stay in the closet, and it's got a picture of Kristen Stewart on the front page of it. I'm like,
wait, what is it? LGBTQ plus what?
Stars
Daughters?
who were told stars
Stars
who were told to stay in the closet. And it's got Kristen Stewart on the cover of it, and it's like, wasn't she banging her own husband and the director and some other dude while working on the set of one movie? Like, I don't think she was LGBTQ plus. I think she's just a whore.
She gets down for anything.
I guess. I mean, I guess she's dating a woman
secretly
now.
wanted some of those Eskimo tacos and just.
Well, and I guess she's gay now. Is it because she she got so run through by every dude in Hollywood that none of them wanted her anymore, so she had to move on to women, or how is that how that works? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Just trying something else. Yeah, enough rod.
Probably drove her as crazy as Amanda Bynes.
Gosh, where do you have that one pulled up?
Joan Rivers is down there. Is that what you said?
Amanda Bynes. You need to work on your internet. You're very glitchy today.
Let's see. Where's the Amanda? Oh, here it is.
You're highly pixelated and kind of glitchy. Yeah.
Amanda Bynes placed on psychiatric hold after walking around naked in Los Angeles.
There was a time when people would have paid to see that.
Yeah, not today.
Not anymore.
Back when she was just after her movie fame or first movie fame, maybe. But
she was in.
Who was she? What did she do?
She was in She's the Man and all kinds of other stuff. She was a Facebook user is saying, I can guess which one it is, but we'll leave their names out of it. She was a Nickelodeon star back in the early 2000s and did some movies and stuff. Was one of those like young up and coming comedy
like supposed to be comedic women, basically.
Yeah, the teeny bopper comedy stuff. That she was one of the chicks that all the boys had a crush on, and blah blah blah. And then she like went batshit crazy.
Can confirm. And
she went the way of the Olsen twins and Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan.
Where are they today?
Strung out.
Are they both? I thought one of them was like.
Didn't Lohan kind of go through rehab recently and came out of it? I think
everybody goes through rehab,
but
except for Amy Winehouse, and see how that worked out.
It's true.
I mean,
it's true.
Was it for the better though?
I mean, for society, probably. For her, like personally, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I don't think she wasn't that bad. There's a lot of like, there's a whole bunch of other ones that I think society would have been better off without. Like, I don't know. She wasn't the worst. I'm just saying. Is my internet still really bad?
It's better now.
It's not really bad. It's like average bad. Well, speaking of
kind of glitchy.
On a normal day.
On a normal day, what?
What? Yeah. Are you? Was that because you gotta help us out here.
I think he's in
I thought you said on a normal day.
You said on a normal day.
You're the one that said on a normal day. No,
on a normal day.
You did. I was like, on a normal day, what? Is it better on a normal day? Is it worse?
I love this.
Is it the same?
I love these.
On a normal day, you don't get Trump fighting with the police in the streets, but yesterday we did. Or did we? I don't think we actually did. I think it was all just AI generated, but it was still.
They were incredibly funny.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Trump couldn't move like that. I just,
But see, look, it's always
he's a little more mobile than Joe.
If they were using the new version, like they can actually get the hands right on the new versions of the AI.
It's always the hands. They always look weird.
It's probably because these people are using the free version of this program, and like if you use the paid version, you
that guy's got 6 fingers.
Well, hell yeah, ain't nobody paying money to make a fake picture of Trump getting hauled off or running from the cops.
See, this one's the funniest one because this is the one that's least believable. Like, no one believes that Trump's actually
Trump on the run. They are pretty good. This one was my personal favorite.
If there was one of him punching a cop, that would actually be funny. Oh yeah, falling down.
They're like literally dragging him out. So he's getting arrested tomorrow then, right?
Well, that was supposed to be today then. Yeah, so
tomorrow, today.
Happen today?
On Friday.
Wednesday.
They're gonna do it Friday. That way.
Well, they just said Wednesday. They just said Wednesday. So are they just?
Are they
just trying to do this?
I saw something. Yeah, I think so. I saw something that was like, I don't know how it went exactly. He was going to get like arrested, but it wasn't going to be till like next week, and then he's gonna be like fingerprinted and have a mugshot by the end of this week or something. It's just like, man, does anybody act like this is like Hillary Clinton level, like, you know, Hillary's gonna get arrested type stuff. Like, guys, just leave it alone. It's okay. It's all right. It's over.
I mean,
Like,
they've released his tax returns 3 times, and every time he's getting arrested for tax evasion. Like I've looked at
nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing.
He paid his taxes. Yeah, I mean, he paid his taxes. I mean, he did what typical like businessmen do and try to evade as many taxes as he can. But he didn't actually do tax evasion, as the government says.
He did everything was 100% legal. Like that was the. But they for some reason
he overpaid some years, and then he didn't pay any some years. So like, this is kind of how the tax system works.
Well, and like, so what is the exact charge? I know y'all are a little more in tune with what he's actually supposedly being charged with in this particular instance. Something with Stormy Daniels paying.
So it would be like a campaign finance law violation. So he allegedly he made a payment as a legal fee for to Stormy Daniels to pay off, like to pay her off, in order to avoid the lawsuit that she was gonna do. So he took from his allegedly used it as legal fees from his campaign to say that he was paying her, but I don't even know if that is true.
He paid through Cohen. The money was paid through Cohen. And as it was labeled in like Cohen's books, it looked like it was like for campaign purposes. It wasn't like hush money or hooker money. It was, you know, something else. And that's, I think, where they're getting him hung up, because it looks like, you know, this is a political thing, right? It was, and then there's, I think, the part too, I saw somewhere about like it being, they're accusing him that he did it because he didn't want to like lose face in his election, right? He wanted to keep his public image like immaculate or whatever. Which, I mean,
is that illegal?
Is that illegal? It is, and so they're saying that it is in an election because it's like, I don't know, not voter fraud, but like, you know,
like you're influencing public opinion. Yeah, like you're changing. You're trying to use your campaign financing to change public opinion. That's generally what they're trying to say.
So it's doing something to alter the public's opinion of you in an election cycle. So similar to, say, all of social media suppressing. All of social media suppressing a Hunter Biden laptop story. Is that what we're? Sort of what I'm.
Yeah, but they're a private company. They can do what they want. Remember?
I mean, when we've got the Twitter files released that shows that they were actually being told by the FBI to do this, then I think that kind of takes it to a different level. I would think. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, man. I think you're wrong. I think it doesn't matter. It's really.
I mean, it's like, similar to how like the Steve Bannon thing, because like, really, did Steve Bannon do anything necessarily wrong? I don't think so. I mean,
what did he get in trouble
just
for?
Found some. I forget what it was. It was completely forgettable.
Yeah, the Bannon stuff was another one of those like giant nothing burgers that didn't have any teeth. I don't know. Maybe they'll actually get it right this time, and they'll have Donald.
They're actually getting. They're just telling him that because he didn't go to the January 6th committee, that he didn't testify, that he's getting sentenced to 4 months in jail just
Bannon?
for defying. Yeah. He may have already
See-
almost like served
Was
that
he
already.
still in? Was he? I
think
didn't
he
think he
served
was
it
still
already.
on. I didn't think he was still in Trump's cabinet on January 6th. So what's the purpose for calling him in? Like if he wasn't,
Supposedly he was instigating or something like that. So
that's the dumbest shit ever.
I don't.
Just
It's just like that. It's just find
The whole
something
thing,
to
like-
make it.
and when they
Like,
send you that
I
letter,
know.
you have to appear. Blah 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 blah. What you got to do is on the
Put it in the
piece of
shredder
paper-
and say, I
on
don't
the
know.
piece of paper that the letter came on. You just draw one of these numbers, and you send it back to them. You return to sender with one of those on the cover or on the front of the envelope. Hey, well, maybe this time it'll actually stick, and they'll have Trump sentenced in Idaho, and then we can get the firing squad.
I can't see this article yet, so I'm gonna keep talking. But like, I can't get over the fact of like how long this has been drawn out for. How like the crazy left, like I'm not talking just like people that are like left leaning, they're left, but like the nutbags that are like, oh my god, you gotta arrest Trump, like he's a threat to democracy, like the whole like Trump is a literal Nazi people, like how it makes sense to them. How can they watch this happening of like these people that like they've done nothing, there's been no real crime, and they go to jail and they're pushing charges. And how do they look at the other people in politics, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Gavin Newsoms, the people that are dirty as hell, and apologize for that? Like if you are that serious about like Trump and like Bannon and J6 and all this stuff being like the absolute worst and just most corrupt stuff, like how do you not see that the people on the left do the same shenanigans? Like I don't get that at all.
It's essentially what it is that they have a certain perception of what those people are doing, and they don't want to, they can't see the other framing of like any framing outside of that. So it's always Gavin Newsom is doing good.
But I don't even know how you can frame it from the inside of that. Like, you got to be retarded to like. I mean, like that's brainwashed.
I'm not saying these are
cult
smart
mentality,
people.
like
Yes, it is. But what happens is that they've been told that this is essentially Republicans and Trump, like all of them are the ultimate evil. So think about it, this way from like if we're going to talk in the World War II perspective of like the Nazis. So like if you just literally say like the Nazis are completely the ultimate evil, all like they never did anything good. There was nothing to good to come from like Germany at all. Like Germany is the worst country ever, and that's the only perspective that we're going to have. And that's what a lot of people take from the World War II discussion. And that's basically what they're taking on their current take on modern American politics with Democrats versus Republicans. It's the Republicans are the ultimate evil. So it doesn't really matter what our side does. Like our side can pillage a village and do whatever.
Sam Harris has said as much. Sam Harris literally said they could have kids chained up in their basements, and as long as they're opposing Trump, he's cool with it. Like he's literally said that.
Yeah, a lot of them probably do. I mean, Joe Biden's probably got like a little. I bet you he's got a closet full of wigs that he's like taking from small children, and he just like goes in there and sniffs them. I don't know, man. I hate politics, but really, like lately, it's
the most entertaining thing right now.
Like, it is, but like I'm watching all this stuff with Trump, right? And like, just over the years how much they've not given up on him, and how like they're going to find something. They're going to do something just because they keep like, it doesn't matter whether it's Russia or it's P tapes or whatever, you know, like they keep going and going and going until they can get something that hangs up. They get something that like catches. And it's really been interesting, I think, to see how that's been painted. And, you know, if we think about like COVID and how that got, you know, construed in Fauci, you look at all the evil crap Fauci's done in his life. And now you look at like Ukraine and Putin and like how horribly misrepresented that situation has been. And it makes you like, I mean, I've always questioned history, but now I'm really like, well, good Lord, like what actually happened? Like was, you know, you start to question all the evil guys from the past.
Well,
like,
it's
really, you know,
like even in that framing, so like
Not Stalin. Stalin was fucking evil.
Oh yeah, he definitely evil. No,
Hitler was misunderstood.
But here's the thing about Stalin.
Stalin, Lenin, you know.
Here's the thing.
Stalin and Lenin
got painted as a good guy. Stalin got painted as a good guy during World War One, right? When he was part of like the what the hell was it? The League of Nations. So I think by that alone, we can automatically assume that he's an evil douchebag.
100%.
Yeah.
But like with the even with the COVID discussion, I've noticed that people can't have like any sort of like perspective or nuance on the COVID discussion. It's immediately like it's so you have those kind of people who like the blue anon people who just literally think that everything Trump does is evil. And then you also have, you know, maybe more of like the, I guess in the libertarian spaces was just like, well, Trump even letting COVID ever happen was a terrible idea, and that he could have made all kinds of changes, and he could have like done all these things, when in reality, like they're overestimating like the power of what he was capable of doing. Now he could have fired Fauci, but the problem with that, and what people don't think about, is the public perception, and Trump is definitely someone who like wants to be good in the public's eye. Like he wants to be perceived by everyone as generally doing the right thing. And I think that he literally did think that by keeping Fauci there and doing that like he was gonna suffer less pain than if he fired Fauci and something went wrong.
Well, I mean,
it's all opportunity. It's a trade-off. Like everything is a trade-off. All those decisions are trade-offs. And I don't think he was necessarily like right having Fauci there in the first place, but clearly,
nobody knew Fauci's name prior to 2020 unless you had been you had kept up with all of the different things that he had fucked up over the years.
Unless you were a gay guy in the 80s, you didn't know who Fauci was.
Right. That's the thing. Like, why would you think that it's the same guy for 40 years that's been doing this stuff? Like, you know, you would expect that we're led to believe that like there's some sort of a turnover in government, that, you know, people change out and people actually get elected to these positions.
We actually change cabinet members. I mean, really, like
that it's not the entire, like the whole same cadre of people who are running things literally forever. Like,
I mean, how long has Condoleezza Rice been involved? Even though she's
still around?
I think she's retired. I mean, if Colin Powell hadn't died, he'd still be a Joint Chief or something to that effect. Like, yeah.
I mean, but they try to hold on to those positions as long as they possibly can. Like,
well, that's the goal: is you get into one of those government positions, and then you just don't do anything to get yourself fired, and you get to do that forever and just live off the government teat.
It's really
because the Fed can just print unlimited money, so that it's never going to run out. They're never going to stop paying you, because they're always going to make sure. Like, that's always the number one thing that they talk about whenever they talk about like government having to shut down And if we don't increase the debt ceiling and all this blah, 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 is like, how are we going to pay our government employees if we don't increase the debt ceiling? Like, I don't know. Fuck them. They should go get a private sector job and do something that actually contributes to the world. That's their problem, not mine. Like, what?
It's kind of you think about like all the people we have in government that are just like appointed. You know, we were like, everybody's like, you know, yay democracy, like save our democracy. You know, we have all these threats to democracy. We have to save it. You know, vote. Everybody gets a vote. Everybody gets a choice. But like, there are so many people in government, in power, making decisions that are just appointed, and then like they just don't get fired. It's really that is more akin to, you know, I don't know what kind of political system, you know, more of a what the hell's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, not a democracy, right? I don't think it's so far as like fascism, but you know, it's like this idea of you just have appointed people that are there because, you know, they're friends with so and so, or they're so and so's sister, and you know, it's more of a
it's
monarchy type.
It's like a
I don't know.
It's like the like corporatistic nepotism, kind of almost like it's like a nepotism or like a communist nepotism kind of thing. But speaking of people who should be fired, listen to this.
And then President Biden has been nothing.
Did you pull up my picture?
About his
Am I getting let go?
Foundational belief in human rights, and LGBTQ plus rights are human rights. And we, again, back to the earlier question, we're never going to shy away, be bashful about speaking up for those rights and for individuals to live as they deem fit, as they want to live. And that's something that's a core part of our foreign policy, and it will remain so. And then,
so LGBT is a core part of the foreign policy.
I mean, we already knew that. They've been funding gender studies in Pakistan for 40 fucking years and send them $30 billion every year for that. I mean, we already knew. We already knew.
Does this mean they're shipping like the water there that they've been giving us over there? Are they sending out more vaccines and more pharmaceuticals that we give our people? What does that even mean? I mean, what the hell?
Nobody knows.
Like, what does that have to do with foreign policy at all?
They don't even know. They get up there.
It's a guy's.
They have a list, and on this list is like, these are all the buzzwords that you have to say during this speech. Figure out how you're going to shoehorn all of those in. And the more that you get in, the more of a bonus you'll get at the end of the day. So like, you want to make sure that you find. That's why Kamala Harris says together so many times. There's like you have to talk about inclusiveness and togetherness. So she thinks if she just keeps saying together over and over and over again, that'll get her more of a bonus. They're like, no, you just say it once. After that, you check the box and then you move on. Kind of like what we did when we were selecting you for vice president. We checked the box of woman, of color, who can suck a good dick, and then we don't need to check the box multiple times. I know that's how you thought it worked, and that's why you just kept going around crawling on your knees, but you only had to do it the one time.
See, she thinks she has to do it for the whole, like, for everybody. Like
I feel bad.
She's kind, she's giving, she's sharing.
Everybody's been commenting over there. Oopsie.
Probably have several comments and like.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me pull it up. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Let's see here.
Oh boy, I got dogs barking downstairs. Can you hear them?
I'm
upstairs.
What is barking? What is that? Is that your dog?
Yeah, they're downstairs.
Well, since we're talking about Kamala, she just said
dogs barking.
Dogs barking. So here's Kamala.
Ownership is an essential part of the American dream. That is why today I am proud to announce that starting on March 20th, we are reducing mortgage insurance payments for all new FHA homeowners by
That's still be good.
And what this means is, on average, homeowners will pay at least $800 a year less on their mortgage, and that's $800 more in your pocket. Homeownership isn't.
No way this doesn't work out in our favor. Pretty sure we tried this back in like the early 2000s, and then we got like a housing bubble
I was gonna say this sounds familiar.
financial collapse. I don't know. I try to be a student of history, and usually, sometimes you don't even have to look that far back. It's like 15 years ago. We saw how this worked out already, but yeah, whatever. Do it.
Well,
Do your thing.
California.
Let's blow the whole fucking thing up.
I think California is gonna make it worse.
But the thing,
I think I saw something. California, they're actually going to give. Not only are they going to give reparations, they're going to make homes like super cheap for people to like put a down payment and buy. So
her voice is really nasally, and I've never really noticed it before. And I can't stand listening to her. Like, that was enough. That set me on edge. It was hard to listen to what she was saying because it was just unbearable. I think the real issue, though, is like in 2008, like, who was getting the money, right? Who was getting the breaks? It was a bunch of white people. And, if you look at FHA loans, and, consider who's that going to.
well, no, I mean, like,
right.
So that was subprime mortgages, though. That was like stupidly poor people who were getting these like really good deals on. It was just really poor people who were getting good deals on being able to.
Trying to make this a race issue because obviously that's the problem.
I think he was trying to make a joke.
That was terrible.
It was such a dry.
It's terrible.
It's hard to pick up on.
I get in trouble for my deliveries a lot, honestly.
That's what your wife
I
said.
feel that pain.
Yeah,
that's because it's
I
you do delivery and not DiGiorno. Like, you don't make it DiGiorno.
Well, I don't know why people are bothering with like trying to buy houses anyway when they can apparently just squat. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shoot, there it is.
There's been a couple that I've seen recently. Which one is this? Is this the lady with the goats or the pigs or something?
This is just kind of a general like problem. Squatters torment homeowners across the U.S. with no resolution in sight. Apparently, in certain states, there is a lack of property right for the homeowner themselves, or for the landlord, so people can just like continue to stay there without repercussion. Like, I don't have to worry about that with my tenants. They're excellent. Like, that's why I rented to friends. But I mean, I've got a pretty effective way to get you the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. Well, I think that some people are concerned about if that also gets them into legal trouble.
I ain't worried about that. GTFO.
FAFO.
Yeah.
FAFO.
Apparently, the stripper pits is where you dump a body, and we have plenty of those around here. So that's just what my wife.
I'm curious
I think she was trying to intimidate me with that.
What does this article actually say?
Like,
what squad? I see this. I see that caption: "Squatters move into home just bought by a young couple." Like, what? What actually? Like, cause I assume, okay, you got like homeless people that are, camped out on the corner of somebody's property and they don't get off for a while and they set up an encampment and they can't move them, or
and then they're homesteading.
That got evicted but just hasn't moved. Yeah. But what's this? This like somebody actually bought a house and they moved in after closing or something, or what?
No,
like,
these people, like, somebody died, and then these people like basically went and started living in the house after the homeowners died, and then Like the home gets left to the family members. The family members don't live there, so then they like sell it, and then these the people buy it and they go to move in and find there's other people already there.
Wouldn't you
And like
wouldn't you
usually
see that
when a
during
family
like
member
closing
dies
though?
like that, you're not
Like when
turning
you
off
do
the
like a
power.
home
You're not turning off
inspection.
the. Okay, just keep talking. What? I couldn't hear anything you said.
Well, there's a lag. There's a lag. I apologize.
Go ahead.
Proceed, Claude.
No, I don't even know what I was saying. I know what you're saying, that they turn the power off and whatnot, but like, don't you notice like, don't you notice when you go to buy a house that there's
They're
somebody
everywhere.
there? Like, do you not do like a walkthrough?
Well, and they might
Well,
just
they-
think that
they
they're
might
renting it out or
leave.
something. Like, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell mine, but I have renters in it right now. Like, so they still, even though I'm gonna be showing it this weekend, they still have some furniture there that they haven't moved out yet. So it's and if they're doing it like selling it through a realtor or something instead of selling it themselves, then the realtor may not know if they've been renting it or not. Like, and if the
I
people
don't
aren't
know.
there, when
That
you come to
sounds
look at
fishy
it,
as
I
hell,
don't know.
man.
Yeah, it just seems weird.
No, I mean like those. If you're squatting someplace, I guarantee you're like, you probably got trash piled up. You're not paying for trash pickup. You got containers of Mountain Dew
Well,
everywhere.
that's what I was saying.
And
Like the people,
McDonald's
like
bags, and probably a few shopping carts in the lawn. And
when the family member dies, they're not cutting off the power, they're not cutting off the water, they're not cutting off the trash service. They're leaving all that stuff in place because they want to be showing the house and have it accessible and
maybe
in good shape. Like, you're not cutting all that stuff off.
Just cut it
when you're
off and
having,
like bring them in there with like no
right?
no
Because
lights
like
on and
that's
like.
well, I mean,
oh.
have you ever like been looking at houses, like going to move, and you go to a house and none of the power or water is turned on? Like that, it's really weird. It's like,
you got to have it on for the inspection.
right.
I don't know. Like Facebook user says, then the home inspector missed a hobo in the crawl space. Like, I mean, if somebody's squatting, I don't care if the power's on. I don't care if all that stuff is on. Like, if you're the type of person that is going to move into somebody's house and just start like living there, pretty sure when somebody walks through, they're going to pick up on that. Like, now, unless this was like BlackRock just buying up a property, that they didn't look at sight unseen, I guess I could see that. But I mean,
well,
I'm not gonna feel
it
too
could be
bad for somebody
too.
that's buying houses like sight unseen like that. Yeah.
It could be like that they leave, like they see someone's coming and they leave. I mean, like you're missing like you're underestimating like the sleaziness of some of these people who would do something like this. Like some of these people would be like, oh, somebody's coming, like let's go, like we're gonna go like the town over or something like that. Just go walk and get out of it.
And how you can't like
power of myth.
You can't like get the cops in there to pull them out, or
Well,
like
that's
just
what they've
drag them.
done in most of these cases. Is they have the cops end up having to come and like physically remove these people. But they're like California. I was reading an article about California that it was a tenant that had stayed there, and then after their lease expired, they just refused to leave and refused to pay. And the way California's backwards ass property rights laws are, there's nothing that the people could do about it. They're just stuck with these like ass. You're renting your property out
for free
on the trust that the person you're renting to is going to be a decent human being. And then if it turns out that they're not, you're fucked. Like, and of course, California is probably one of those states that if you show up with a shotgun and say, "Hey, get the fuck out," then you will be in trouble too. So that's where you just.
I bet you this. I bet you this is not a non-issue in Castle Doctrine states.
Yeah, exactly. That's
you might have to clean the floor up afterwards, but it might probably worth it in the long run.
Like Facebook user says, most good states don't have this problem. It's the blue ones with Soros DAs that have this as a common problem. The ones that have the incredibly liberal property rights laws that it's our house, comrade. type shit. Yeah, like I don't think somebody would have the balls to do that around here, because like if you are renting from somebody, most of the landlords around here
they're gonna be carrying,
are fairly heavily armed, like, because the people who rent around here, not saying it's always, but a lot of people who are renters around here are kind of sketchy. So I got lucky with mine. It was good friends that I trusted. I got like stupid lucky with that. But a lot of people around here, with the way the jobs are and stuff, like either you make enough that you buy a house, or you don't and you're renting and you bounce from house to house every 2 months, and and kind of
probably kind of scummy person a lot of times.
A little bit sketchy. So landlords behave accordingly.
Honestly, like I've been thinking about like buying rental.
It's like they're trying to get like
rental scene, and like that's one of the things that scares me. Really, is like all the different, having to deal with crappy tenants that don't leave, or that really use the laws to take advantage of that. And I don't think Georgia's that bad, but at the same time, like with COVID stuff, like, oh, you don't have to pay rent, like even that sort of thing. Like, I mean, just they've tried it once. I'm sure they'll try it again sometime in the future.
Well, if you really want to keep squatters out of the house of your deceased loved ones, after they die, just head over to the house as soon as you find out that they're gone and put a bunch of swastikas out in the front yard. Nobody's coming to squat there, and at that point, or at least not the people that you don't want. Like, you get the right kind of squatters in that case.
Oh, that's funny.
So I mean, what's the story? What kind of business does she have?
She was offended. Like, the swastika is not anti-black; it's anti-Jew. Am I wrong on that?
I
mean,
I think the deeper philosophy of it ends up kind of being, anti-black.
Well, and I guess he couldn't just like stick a white flag out there to try to symbolize the KKK, because then everybody would think he was giving up.
Why are you guys here?
Yeah,
Y'all looking for shade? Look at that. Look at the second paragraph.
According to Pittman, the man had already given me weird vibes while she was going through closing. And then about a week after closing, on the 23rd of September, she returned with her mom to drop off the buses. This time, she said, the man approached them and said, "Why are you guys here? Y'all looking for shade?"
What?
He pulled up straight up Clint Eastwood, get the fuck off my lawn.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he got what he wanted. She fled back to her home in Charlotte, where she is raising funds to try to cover her losses and restart her business somewhere else.
Wait, what part of North Carolina was it?
Charlotte is where she's.
Yeah,
no, I mean where they were.
Where she's from, but where was the? Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see.
I wonder if it was because she's
Charlotte,
black, or if it's because she's like from the city.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like
we don't need no city folk around here.
And this, like, the swastika things was probably just a shtick to drive her away. Like, I'm sure he wasn't. He probably wasn't actually a Nazi.
I don't know, man.
He was just like, I need to get rid of this person. So
He was talking to his buddies on the internet, and they're like, put a swastika up. And he's like, okay. Yeah.
I'll get rid of them real fast.
I think you just chain up like an alligator Get like a
See,
find your local drug dealer, borrow his tiger, and put it in the house for a little while.
he's just
And if
lucky.
Keep people out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was saying, if you can't get an alligator, then get you some buffaloes. I like how your sound played right as I said, get you some buffaloes. Perfect time.
Sorry about that. Where I saw the article. I didn't actually click on it. I saw this a few days ago. But where in Georgia is he? Does it say?
He's
literally right
somewhere.
Literally right there. The first two lines of the.
I can't see that.
Fayetteville,
Does it
Georgia.
say Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fucking lagging.
Well, you highlighted it, then I could see it. I need glasses. Leave me alone.
just gonna hand them to you through the screen. Oh, but yeah, I figured he was close to Atlanta there.
Yeah. Which is
the
weird.
Family who
you
lives
wouldn't
near
think
the
that-
Hustlin' Rappers estate in Fayetteville say his pet buffalo are roaming onto their property. Apparently, they did not want a home where the buffalo roam.
Is that what it says? Tell me it didn't say that.
That's what I said.
Okay.
That's me.
I was like, oh Lord, please don't. We've not degenerated that far.
Oh.
But Atlanta, that's so weird up there though, because Atlanta is a city, but it's so sprawling that you have these spaces, I guess, where you can have buffalo fairly close to. I think isn't Fayetteville up there?
It's more south. Fayetteville's a little bit south of Atlanta.
Them motherfuckers.
I like the
Yo,
commentary.
look at this shit here. Oh my God, y'all, look what I just experienced. I come to the office and I pulled in the driveway and this was outside. And remind y'all, the office that I am in, it's like a home office. And look what's in the yard. I'm so scared. Oh my God,
Lord.
it's not about to flip.
So what, you got one buffalo and some cows?
It was two buffalo and a cow.
Were there 2 buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was trying to pull up a map to see where Fayetteville was, but
And he was out there like, these motherfuckers.
that-
It sounded like is the video girl on the roof actually Rick Ross? Or is that what we're finding out? Is that Rick Ross is just running some big ass ranch out in somewhere in the middle of Georgia, and all of his animals just terrorize the entire neighborhood?
Big Earl,
it's only 20 miles south of Atlanta. It's not that far from.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he probably wants to stay near Atlanta because that's where that rap scene is
Yeah.
kind of popping for them. So I mean, it makes sense that he would want to be close by.
He responded to the Instagram reel and said, "When you see my buffalo, give them a carrot, give them an apple. They're so kind and so peaceful."
And then they're gonna get run over. So somebody's gonna get
Let's see, it
hike
says
low.
he was gifted.
That would be my biggest concern.
He was gifted the 2
gifted?
buffalo from his partners at a clothing company last year, and he also has 4 horses and a bull living on the property. So that's
My concern would be them getting out and getting in the road and then getting hit, and then you're responsible for the person
Somebody's
that died
dead
when they
then.
hit the buffalo. Yeah.
I mean, as long as you don't go out there and get them pissed off and get them stampeding, then they'll move on. They'll go back home. They're not aggressive animals by any means.
I don't know, man. You seen some of those Yellowstone videos?
Well, at least it's not having to pay reparations. At least it's
I'm
not
only
having
on
to pay
season 2 of Yellowstone, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So at least Rick Ross is not the Philadelphia government having to pay reparations to people who were injured at the protests of St. Floyd.
What about
That's
but what
not
about
reparations.
like
though. What is that? That's
restitution?
That's it. Yeah, that's the word.
I mean, I suffered emotional trauma watching this. I mean, my profile on Twitter is a black guy, and I received harassment, and it hurt me on the inside. So I think I should qualify for some of this.
And whenever they ask you about it, just be like, "Look, this is my Twitter profile picture. Clearly, this is me. I just had to have my skin bleached because I was getting so much harassment for being a black man. Like that's why I
got
look
that
like
revitiligo.
But that's my OG picture from what I actually look like. This is just a public appearance that I have to put on now so that I can avoid being a victim of systematic racism.
Like, would you?
That would so work nowadays. Like that explanation would so work.
I mean, hell, the some of the top people in the movement are white folk. Sean King, Rachel Dolezal, like, I mean, how many others are we just don't know about? They're actually white folk.
And they actually take them seriously. Still, like, how
yeah.
How does that work? Like, you pretended to be black, or in Sean King's case, like is he? What is he?
I think he's like a little bit of a mix. Like,
is he an albino? Like, I don't understand what's going on. But his eyes and his hair are the wrong color for him to be an albino. I don't know what's going on.
He's white. He white.
I mean, that's what I thought, but anyway,
it's Snow King.
Like he might have like a 1%. Like he has like the 1% enough to look like.
I bet we've all got 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have been the white Africans, but we're still African.
How are they gonna do? Like, I'd love to know how they're gonna do this. Like, did you have to like file a report that said you were injured? Can you go back now and claim that you were injured? Like, how does this work? And I mean,
that's
how do they come up with that number? How many people were like injured? What does that mean? Define injured. Like, are we talking the handcuffs were too tight? Are you talking like you got scared? Like
anything?
Does it count if I burned myself when I, somebody was burning a building and I went to loot it and the handle was hot and I got burned? Like, how does that work?
Well, no, it's they're saying injured by the police. So if the police threw you on the ground and then you were like, oh, I got injured, then yeah, you can claim. So like if the police were rough on you when arresting you or dealing with you, if they even if they didn't arrest you, if a cop pushes you back and you fall down and hit your head, then like they've got to pay for that basically.
That's why, think about that, man. That is wild. That is freaking wild.
I was never a wigger. I was very much a farm boy, but I was that.
You were hood.
I was that country boy.
You tried. You just couldn't pull it off. So you play it off now. Like, no, I was just country boy.
He's country hood. He's country hood.
Wear overalls and show up to the game with a chaw in my mouth and all that good stuff. What was the guy when Trey, you might know, I'm sure Clyde doesn't, when the Sacramento Kings had the razzle dazzle ball going on when they had Bibby and Chris Webber and who was their starting center, and I can't remember his name now.
Carmelo. Patrick
not Vlade Divac. It was a white dude.
Wait.
Shit. Now I can't remember.
Pippen?
Anyway.
Got it. No, not Pippen. John Stockton.
I'm muting you. Idiots. Anyway, he would
see.
Something Miller. Anyway, he would like they would do interviews with him after the game, and he always have like a big ass dip in, and he's like standing there with a Gatorade bottle, spitting in it, doing interviews post game. The good stuff. That was what I tried to emulate. That was the type of basketball player I went for.
Let's see. When should that have been?
If I knew whose joke I was sandbagging, I might feel bad about it, but it's just Facebook users. So
I read that. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, man. Anything else today?
It wasn't Vlade Divac.
it was another guy. I can't remember what his name was. Anyway, keep going. We gotta talk more about. I don't know what else we got on the docket for today. Talking about the BLM stuff in Philly. Did y'all see this article? Weapons of Whiteness, Minneapolis racial equity leader accuses black council members of anti-black discrimination. So this chick has been like given the position of, I can't remember what the exact title is. It's some made up like
I thought they were supposed to fire people like that
thing. Well, some places are and other places aren't. This is in Minneapolis, so you know they've still got to deal with the George Floyd fallout, so they can't move on yet.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really surprised at like that there is enough of a concentration up in like essentially Canada to cause all this stuff. Like I just think that the winter and everything else would, you know, I don't know. It seems weird to me that there's a contingent out there. I guess it's a big city.
You know, I think the same thing. Like Detroit and Minneapolis. Yeah. Like I didn't think black people liked cold weather that much, but there's a lot of them up that direction. So
yeah. I don't know. Isn't that where a lot of Somalis end up? Like when they come over, they I think there's like a big Somali population up there, which just I think like climate wise, like just that change would be so drastic. Like I don't know. So what do these black council members do that she's like angry about?
Let's see. So they're utilizing.
Did you even read the article?
I'm trying to figure out how to concisely like explain it without reading the damn article back to you. Basically, what they do is once they get into the positions of power, they start behaving the same as the white people who are already in the positions of power, and they use the positions to benefit themselves, and they talk about doing things for their community and to promote racial equality and stuff like that, but they don't ever actually do it because, you know, that's the way politics works. It's all about talking about it.
I was going to say, so they're just standard politicians.
So then this chick gets appointed to a position, and she's one of the true believers. So she gets in this racial equity, whatever. What was the name of the actual? There's like an actual like made up title for what her role is supposed to be, and anyway, like she gets into the position and then starts to figure out that the whole thing is just a crock of shit, and so now she's like calling them all out for it.
Mall of America looks like New Mogadishu when you go there. I guess maybe that's what it is. That's why they all end up in Minnesota. I know. I thought that Facebook user made a spectacular comment. I know you all like to ignore it. That's fine, but I'll call you out, Facebook user. I don't know who you are. You're important to me.
Sure. Brad Miller, that was his name. Found it.
It's meaningless to me.
meaningless to you, it's important.
Speaking of
to me.
basketball, my bracket is still like number 1, which is like quite amusing to me. I just want to point that out. I know I won't stay there, but
So
that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, but like, yeah, you're currently in number 1, but you don't have a single correct pick from this point forward. Like, you've literally maxed out your points.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm not yet. My max points, I think, are like 670 or something like that. But my max points are ahead of Trey's max points at this point, so you'd suck on that one too.
Yeah.
It's these little things.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be dead last. Like it looks good right now because I'm like second place, but then I'm gonna be dead last after this. It's just hilarious. Well, no, Jay might be dead last. So there's that.
So me and Magoo and Mark were talking about this last night on Clock Management that none of y'all actually watch. Like the three of us are in the bottom 4, but we're also like the ones who are most likely to win. I guess Goon is still in the hunt, but he's if the brackets fall out where any of the three of us get some picks right, then that's gonna bump him out of it immediately. So like he'll be able to keep up this weekend maybe, but if it'd
be funny if just like all chaos ensues and like everybody's like completely gets destroyed. Like what was it?
As long as Stephanie doesn't win, I don't care. I can't. I have to place above her, or I'll
see like FAU wins or something like that, and it goes
after losing two times to her during fantasy football season. If she has a better score than me in this, then she's going to have to be the one that does clock management, not me from now on.
All right, so
what do I know?
What kind of deal you guys got worked out at home? Like when she beats you, what do you have to do? Is that safe for internet?
That's between.
I mean, I kind of like it. Why do we have to have a deal for that? Are you retarded or something?
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.